Hi everyone. I'm gonna wait a little and see if anyone's available to jump on to this. How's everyone's Saturday going? This is like the most awkward part, I think, the waiting for people to hop online. Because I don't want to just talk to thin air myself. I like interactive Facebook Lives. I think it just posted in the group that I went live. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, I see one person has joined in. So that's good. Then I will at least be talking to one person and not myself. Patty's here. Hi, Patty. I really hate the delay on Facebook Live. It's really not something I enjoy. Who else is here? There's 2 viewers. Okay, so I'm going to get started because I don't have all the time in the world. So I'm going to talk about petrochemicals and detoxification in our bodies. Super fun topic, I know. So let's talk about some petrochemicals first. So let's talk about what they are. So petrochemicals are chemicals derived from petroleum. Hey Sean, hey Amanda, how are you guys? So petrochemicals are chemicals derived from petroleum. 2 of the most common are olefins and aromatics, and those are the building blocks for solvents, detergents, and adhesives. Olefins are the basis for polymers and oligomers, and they're used in plastics, resins, fibers, elastomers, lubricants, and gels. Aromatics include benzene, toluene, and xylenes. Hi Leslie. So we're gonna talk about 6 petrochemicals. I'll try and keep this short because this isn't really the main topic I want to talk about, but it's important to understand what petrochemicals do in our body and what different types they are and how we get exposed to them. It's super important. So the 6 different petrochemicals, the first one's xylene. It's a petrochemical solvent. It's used in the manufacture of plastics, polyester. It's found in perfumes. You get exposed to it from automobile exhaust mainly. The symptoms include headaches, irritability, depression, insomnia, agitation, extreme tiredness, tremors, impaired concentration, short-term memory. Hi, Angie. Toluene is another petrochemical. It's found in paint thinners, glue, nail polish, cigarette smoke, automobile exhaust again. The symptoms of that are tiredness, confusion, weakness, memory loss, nausea, loss of appetite, hearing, and color vision loss. Toxicity of toluene is associated with liver damage, abnormal menstruation, depression, brain fog, and neuropathies. Not fun stuff. So the third one is benzene. Benzene is one of the top 20 chemicals for production volume in the U.S. It's found in plastics, resins, nylons, synthetic fibers, rubbers, lubricants, dyes, detergents, drugs, and pesticides. It's a neurotoxin. The symptoms are numbness, tingling, pain syndromes. Yes, all of these things are terrible, Sean. Poor concentration and memory, mood swings, tremors, blurred vision, convulsions. They contribute to fatigue, rashes, hair loss, weakness, stiffness, asthma, and it's a known human carcinogen. Styrene is another one. Now, styrene is, if you don't know, styrene is styrofoam. It's basically when styrofoam's broken down, it makes styrene. So it's found in air, water, soil, found in products, plastics, styrofoams, tobacco, smoke, fake rubber, and wood. Styrene causes cancer in laboratory animals. It's classified as a xenoestrogen. So xenoestrogens are estrogen mimickers and endocrine disruptors. They attach to hormone receptor sites on cells throughout the body and disturb hormone and neurotransmitter function. They contribute to health problems such as infertility, reduced sex hormone production, growth disturbances, depression, anxiety, and hyperactivity in children. Stay with me, guys. We've only got 2 more to go through, and then we'll get into the fun stuff. Phthalates are plasticizers that make plastic soft. They're the most abundant toxin, one of the most abundant toxins in the human body. Recent government studies show that the pollutant of the phthalates is over 500,000 times higher than any other toxin in the body, including pesticides and heavy metals. It's found in makeup, detergent, shampoos, plastic food wraps, containers, hospital IV bags and tubes, children's toys, and formula bottles, as well as time-release drugs. It's been found in human breast milk. One study shows the average daily intake is 210 micrograms of phthalates. It's an animal carcinogen. Some are xenoestrogens, which again, they disrupt hormone function. In this case, they include lower metabolism and contribute to weight gain, as well as increased breast cancer risk. And then let's go on to parabens. This is the last one. They're a group of chemical used as preservatives in food to hamper growth of bacteria and fungi. They're used in cosmetics, skincare products, pharmaceuticals, and other industrial products. They're absorbed in the body, found in the bloodstream, and they accumulate in body tissues, including breast and breast cancer tissue. They're weakly estrogenic, and they produce an estrogen effect, contributing to increased hormone-sensitive cancer risk. So all of that sounds terrible, like Sean said. In small amounts of those, so we're going to move into the metabolism of those toxins and how our body deals with that. Small amounts are probably not going to cause health problems. But as we increase our exposure over time, it begins to burden our bodies, and as the exposure time increases. So they're lipophilic, which means that they're fat soluble. So lipophilic means fat loving. So they're not broken down. They're stored in the fat cells of the body in increasing concentrations. And this creates a constant workload on the body's detoxification system. So as we continue with this exposure, this weakens the detox systems over time. So it slows down the detoxification systems, allowing for greater toxic burden. We're going to talk about how the liver detoxifies. Hi, Katie. Preach, Sarah. So we're going to talk about the liver detoxification system. So phase 1 in the liver, how it detoxes our body, is oxidation reduction and hydrolysis. It's catalyzed by enzyme cytochrome P450. We've talked about this one before in this group, but we haven't really explained what it does. It converts toxic chemicals into less harmful chemicals. That creates free radicals. So free radicals are produced when that happens. And then antioxidants, so Ningxia Red, antioxidants can reduce the damage caused by free radicals. But if you're lacking in antioxidants or the toxin exposure is too high, toxic chemicals become far more dangerous. Also, the increased amount of pesticides can disrupt the P450 enzyme system by causing overactivity or induction of this pathway. So high levels of damaging free radicals are produced, if not contained and further metabolized by phase 2, which we'll go through in a second. And so if this continues, this will go on to cause damage to proteins, RNA, and DNA within cells. Yikes. So phase 2, which is the conjunction pathway, liver cells add another substance, cysteine, glycine, or sulfur molecule to toxic chemicals or drugs to minimize harm. It makes them water soluble, so hydrophilic, which means water loving, so it can be excreted via bodily fluids. So now we're going to go into how essential oils come into play with all of this. This is the exciting part that you've all been waiting for. So when we're talking about plants, we want to talk about primary metabolites versus secondary metabolites. Primary metabolites perform a plant's daily activities. They're the proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and oils, and genetic materials such as DNA. Secondary metabolites help the survival of the plant. They're the essential oils, alkaloids, or even dyes in the petals. These substances are the defense pathways and also the communication system of the plant. So secondary metabolites were once toxic to humans. As we migrated across the globe and came into contact with new plant species, our bodies developed or evolved enzymatic processes capable of eliminating these indigestible components safely. So like millions of years ago, when we first came in contact with all these plant matter. So enzymes in our bodies came into play as we evolved to coexist with plants and the secondary metabolites they produce. Our systems formerly perceived essential oils as xenobiotics, which are substances foreign to the body. So, how do oils interact with liver detoxification? When you hear, petrochemicals and oils will eat petrochemicals, and that's why you don't want to put them in plastics, but then they'll detox your body. What does that all even mean? So let's look at lemon. So lemon essential oil has a component in it called limonene. So limonene will slightly inhibit phase 1 liver detoxification while inducing phase 2 enzymes. So what does that mean? It means that the production of potentially toxic carcinogens in phase 1, that process is slowed, and then the phase 2 process is able to remove them. That's awesome. I don't know about you. If you've followed everything I've said, that's pretty cool. Limonene, Sean. Limonene. D-limonene. So CYP, so the cytochrome P450, are the liver detoxifications or chemical defense against xenobiotic compounds of our environment today. So not millions of years ago, today. So xenobiotic compounds include drugs and environmental pollutants, and then the cytochromes first evolved to detoxify the dietary and endogenous products. So now our body uses them to actually ingest the toxins, which I think is pretty cool. So let's end this, summarize. The human body is really complex. There's many defense mechanisms in place. Oh, Leslie, I'm glad you're loving this. I hope it's informative and helpful. So you want to make sure you're using a therapeutic grade essential oil. This is why we stress this so much in Young Living and why the seed to seal is so important. When you're looking at essential oils that are not Young Living, that are not seed to seal, like many solvents can be in those essential oils, and that could include some of these harmful chemicals that we talked about before. So when you're introducing, I mean, that's just, you don't want to do that. So you want a pure essential oil. And those are the only essential oils I allow in my home. Those are the only essential oils that I would advocate anyone to ingest, are Young Living essential oils, pure essential oils, because you're going to get just the lemon essential oil, or just the D-limonene. There's not going to be anything else in there that's going to activate any of these other pathways and potentially like disrupt it or not make it work properly. So explaining how essential oils work is really complicated, and modern pharmacology can't demonstrate essential oil effectiveness. So in pharmacology, to demonstrate the effectiveness of a drug or natural substance, they will study and create an experiment to test one specific substance. But with essential oils, we all know that they have many compounds working together synergistically in that essential oil. And when you take out one compound, it might not work the same way as it would within the entire essential oil. So pharmacology attempts to single out, we already talked about that. So take lavender, for example. It's highly effective on burns, but pharmacology does not recommend lavender because it can't find the active ingredient that mimics the whole oil. So just because they can't figure out, well, which one part of lavender helps with this, they're just going to throw the whole thing out. They don't want anything to do with lavender, and they don't recommend it, which is crazy. But that's how pharmacology works. So essential oils work in the body, often triggering or assisting certain processes in the body to affect a beneficial outcome. So that's the end. If you guys have any questions, I can stick around for a couple minutes and answer. I know I went through that like super fast. I'm about to start dinner, so I didn't want to be like on the Facebook Live too long talking about all that. So I wanted to just go through it really fast. So if I went through something really quickly and you want a little bit more info on that, or have me break it down more, just let me know. I'm going to wait because I know Facebook Live delays comments. You're welcome, Patty. Yeah, Amanda, it is crazy. I had a girl in a messaging group that, like a cross-line friend, asked me about, or she asked a bunch of us about how petrochemicals interact with the body, and how essential. So anyway, I started researching it. I get really nervous on these Facebook Lives, if you can't tell, so it makes me talk really fast and lose my train of thought. So I wrote a little script out. Katie, thanks for doing Facebook Live. Yes, you can go back and watch it, but I didn't know if anyone had questions, because I don't know if I covered everything. I don't know. All right, well, I'm going to end it. Since I'm not seeing any questions, thank you, Sean. I'm not seeing any questions go through. So if you guys have any questions, you can continue to just post it and I'll see them. Facebook will notify me. That's how Facebook works. Do more live. Yes, Patty. Well, maybe I'll research something for next Saturday or something. No, next Saturday at work. Maybe I'll research something for next week. So anyway, I'm going to end this, and then if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the comments, and maybe it'll inspire me to research and do the answers. You are doing a Facebook Live, so proud of you for doing it. It's great. Aw, Rebecca, you're welcome. Okay, I'm going to finish this and end it and go make dinner. Bye.